Howdy y'all, I'm Mickey. Thought I'd give myself a little bit of a break from my usual, more scripted out videos and landed on scrolling through social media like I usually do, but for content. And content I've found in a Twitter account that I followed for a while that I think is super funny called Hot Cis Takes. If you're not on Twitter a lot or don't know what hot blank takes accounts are, they're generally accounts dedicated to compiling screenshots of other people on social media trying to dish out hot takes, but generally saying things that directly contradict what they mean to say or just make no sense whatsoever. And these accounts can be a wild time. For example, we're starting off very strong here. Could we be in the early stages of a social conditioning program geared towards the acceptance of non-terrestrial entities? It all seemed to start with pronouns. Think about it. Nash, what are you talking about? Aliens? Nash did it, y'all. He did it. He cracked the code. He figured out that the trans rights movement is actually just programming people to accept aliens when they reveal themselves to humans. We gotta come up with a new plan, y'all. I'm so stuck on this one. How do pronouns connect to aliens? How is accepting trans people conditioning to accepting non-terrestrial life forms? Why is he so anti-alien? But I mean, I am pro-trans and pro-alien, so I can't really argue with him here. This next one I saw shared on a couple different accounts. So the initial post, I'm not sure what the picture was taken for, but it's a group of models, and they all appear to be pretty masculine, trans men, non-binary, butch, gender non-conforming. I'm not sure, I don't know all of their identities, but they're not the typical image used for menstrual health discussions. And the title is People Have Periods. And then Aneta responds with, sorry, but not really. Oh my gosh. Who was going to tell them? Who was going to tell everybody who has had a period ever that they are not people? I'm so sorry that you found out this way, but Aneta needs to get the truth out there. Menstruation is just completely made up by big companies to sell their products. I'm assuming Aneta's response is coming from the point of view that a lot of transphobes in specific circles have, that is, women are not people and are not allowed to be referred to as people. They must only ever be referred to as women, and then to them, women is anybody who was assigned female at birth. But their argument looks so weird out of context. Imagine being like, yeah, I'm a feminist, and then somebody goes, oh, well, people do this, and you go, no, actually, women do that. Women aren't people. Aneta, you did not make the point you think you did. This one, the user's been cropped out of it because it really does just sound like somebody who's just learning about trans people and non-binary stuff. But it's binary. That's gender, right? Okay. So I'm binary, okay? And it's got a little, like, Pepe with glasses and, like, a little notepad. He's got the spirit.
You're a little confused, but he got the spirit.
This kid is binary. Following that admittedly cute attempt with a really bad turf take, rad feminism includes trans men since they are female and not trans women since they are not. Therefore, calling feminists trans exclusionary is the equivalent of calling them blue-eye exclusionary. Sure, some blue-eyed people happen to be excluded if they are male. First off, this argument is why some people switched to specifically calling them trans women exclusionary radical feminists, because they would call them trans exclusionary, and they'd come back with, oh, well, we include trans men, so we're not trans exclusionary. So, trans women exclusionary. If you've ever seen TWERF, that's what that means. It's just more specific. But also, they don't include trans men. Not really. It's hard to argue that you properly include a group if you're constantly infantilizing them, condescending to them, arguing that they are too naive and airheaded to actually know what they're doing, that they have no real autonomy in their life. They're just poor, lost souls who have to come back to the truth. Like, if you refuse to even listen to their points, then you're not including them. Also, rip me, I guess. Sal's blue eye exclusionary. I gotta go. I'm back. Sal actually couldn't keep me away. My blue eyes are just too strong for her. This one I'm going to attempt to read out in a way that captures everything while jumping over the swearing, because despite being 21 and a full adult, I still do not feel comfortable swearing at all. That Catholic guilt runs deep. You're literally so fragile that you can't handle facts, so you decide to ignore them and attack them based on your fantasy because you never want to grow up. Who uses pronouns? They're not useful. Most of the people who responded to this tweet did so to point out that he used 7 pronouns in this tweet. Pronouns are, in fact, a very, very important part of language. But a repeated thing that seems to come up quite a bit in this account, and one similar to it, is it seems like a lot of people have no idea what the parts of speech are. And that specifically here includes pronouns. For example, here's another screenshot that I found a few tweets down with the same issue. Woman is a noun. If cis is put before a noun to classify it as it is, i.e. cis woman, a pairing, is not the cis a pronoun? So maybe you didn't expect an English lesson here in the middle of this video, but I'm going to give you one. English, all languages, I believe, but we're specifically talking in English here, or I am, classifies words by how they operate, what they do in the language. These are the parts of speech. I'm going to go over a few of the basic parts of speech and what they are because apparently public education has failed us. The one everyone knows is a noun. That's an object, a person, place, or thing. It is the title or the word or the name for what something is. For example, Mickey, person, background, cat. Those are all nouns. A pronoun is a shorter word that's used in the place of a noun so that you don't end up just repeating the same word over and over again. In the takes where people argue that normal people don't use pronouns, which, yes, they do. Everybody has pronouns. Everything has pronouns. Every noun ever has a pronoun that can refer to it because that's how English works. But anyway, they are generally talking about preferred pronouns, gendered pronouns, most typically he, she, or they. But it also includes things like I, we, it, you, and even things like who, or whom, or oneself. Pronouns are used a lot to replace nouns in speaking. And if you want to describe those nouns, then you're using adjectives. For example, this is a black phone case, where case is the noun, and it's the color black, and it's a case for a phone. Black and phone are adjectives. This is a sweet, brown tabby cat, where cat is the noun, sweet, brown, and tabby all describe him. When discussing people's genders, particularly words like cis and trans, those words would be giving more information about the noun. In the case of this tweet, again, the noun is woman, cis gives more information about it. Cis and trans are adjectives, not pronouns. Thank you for joining Impromptu English 101 with Mickey and Milo. After that English lesson, let's see. Yes, another example of somebody who missed, like, first grade lessons. I don't know. Chuck here says, if trans women are women was true, then conversely, women are trans women would also be true. But it obviously is not. Women are trans women. Some women are, in fact, trans women. But I'm assuming his argument here is that if you're saying all trans women are women, then conversely you must say all women are trans women. No. Do you know what a square is? Do you know what a rectangle is? A rectangle is a shape with 4 sides. Any shape with 4 sides. They don't have to be the same length. A square is a shape with 4 sides where all of the sides are equal in length. Squares are rectangles. All squares are rectangles. Obviously, this rectangle is not a square. Not all rectangles are squares. All squares are rectangles. Not all rectangles are squares. All trans women are women. Not all women are trans women. Thank you for coming to Impromptu Shapes 101 with Mickey and Milo. This post is personally interesting here. Nobody is asexual. You're born male or female. So this is obviously a case of somebody who has no idea what asexual means. Since it is a reply, I'm assuming she stumbled across a tweet about asexuality and just decided to go off on her weird hot take. That's like if everybody was talking about squares and she rolled up and said, circles can't be squares, they don't have sides. Like, okay, cool, no one was talking about that. What are you talking about? Gender very rarely ends with sexuality. Sexualities, however, do tend to. There's a few posts here about Biden erased women. Did he repeal women? Oh, he signed an executive order repealing women. I'm never gonna get a girlfriend now. Ooh, another one that I saw on like 4 different accounts. If trans men want to give away their wombs and ovaries to trans women, we should make it law that they get consent from their mothers and grandmothers first, since those eggs were theirs before hers and are still their descendants. Y'all know that hot feminist take that women or anyone assigned female at birth actually should not have any body autonomy and that their bodies belong to other people? Yeah, clearly there's nothing feminist about that take. I'm not sure if this is a take from a radical feminist or just a right-wing transphobe. There's a truly surprising number of takes like this where the source you cannot tell on a glance which it's from. But I hate that somebody calling themselves a radical feminist could have posted a take like this and not seen the irony in how directly anti-feminist the sentiment is. And where did they get the idea that your grandmother has all your eggs in her? I'm trying... if you're assigned female at birth...
You're born with all the eggs that you will ever have in your whole life. And your parent produces those eggs in their body while they're pregnant. And I guess your parent came from your grandparent, or your grandparent's eggs made your parent's body that had... And then your parent was born with all of the eggs in their life, and one of those eggs became you, and then you were born with all of the...
Yeah, the science isn't there. Another wonderful science does not work that way take. Your chromosomes are in every cell of a woman's body. Your chromosomes? Yours. Your chromosomes are in every cell of a woman's body. So when you look at a woman, you see her chromosomes. A simple blood test reveals exactly which sex you are if you are confused. Newsflash, viewer. Your chromosomes are out there in a woman's body. Which woman? A simple blood test will tell you all you need to know. Anyway, most people don't know what chromosomes they have. I mean, it's pretty safe to assume you probably have XX or XY, but like, are you 100% certain you do? Have you gotten your chromosomes looked at? I never have. I don't know what my chromosomes are. I don't want to know. That's a secret that only my chromosomes get to know. Rapid fire bad takes. The thing that's been going on with TERF circles where they have started believing that all major celebrities are secretly trans and making weird hoax conspiracy pictures to show it, including Guy Fieri. The entire trans agenda is about creating a single gender. Yes, all genders will be absorbed into the gender orb eventually, and then there will be only one gender. Only one gendered human being. And it'll be that woman who has stolen everyone's chromosomes. Conservative millennial who said when you have pronouns in your bio, you kind of lose your credibility in the field of science. Again, probably not knowing what pronouns are. Some checkmark here said when someone puts pronouns in their bio, it is not to indicate their gender identity. They're signaling a political position and a worldview. It is negative, hostile, and rage-filled, and more often than not, an indication that their moral reasoning has been damaged. Yes, Peter, actually, I do have they, them in my bio to indicate that I am filled with rage. That is why my Instagram bio, follow me if you don't, has "Be kind out of spite" in the title, because I am just that fueled by it. And the ever wonderful, there is no such thing as a cis woman. Anyway, that was my fun little scroll through look at commentary on the Hot Cis Takes Twitter account. If you have any other accounts or subreddits or whatever that are similar to that you think are funny, that you think I should follow, or maybe look through for another video, let me know down in the comments. Will transphobes ever stop unknowingly generating hilarious content for trans people to make fun of? Will they ever learn what a pronoun actually is? Who knows? Maybe one day. Probably not, but maybe. But we won't know if that day will ever come until we get there. For now, this is it. Ciao.